Guys, we're back. A lot of you have been asking me questions about this new boat trailer I got. Who built it? Do I like it? Can it do this? Can it do that? So this video is purely just running through this boat trailer, showing you the pros, the cons, what I think should be different, and yeah. So unless you're in the market for a boat trailer or you're just genuinely interested in off-road boat trailers, probably skip this video. It might be a bit boring, nothing too exciting happens. But anyway, let's get stuck into it. Thanks again to everyone that's helped me out. Without you guys, we would not be here doing this sort of stuff. Yeah, that is a good looking boat trailer if you ask me. Let's get it out of this creek, up onto the flat, and show you guys what it can do. I'll start running you through some of the features. So first of all, this trailer was made by Tate's Welding, located up here in Tolga on the Atherton Tablelands. He calls it a Barra Tracker trailer. So basically it's his own design. He designed it, designed suspension, and he's been building these trailers for, I think he said, about 25 years. So he knows what works, he knows what doesn't work. I don't know where to start. You obviously got your hitch, all pivots individually, so you can get on some pretty big angles and you're not going to roll your car if your trailer did happen to roll, or vice versa. Your main drawbar as such is actually steel, and it's then being sent down to Townsville to get hot dip galvanized. And then on top of that steel drawbar, he has all his alloy frame and subframe, I guess you'd call it. There's so many features for this trailer, I don't really know where to start, but we'll just run you through what I see, I'll talk about. So my boat is obviously a top ender, 4.3 top ender. Matthew from Cavs Marine supplied the boat. His team is unreal. Like, if you ever need anything to do with boating, Yamaha outboards, you know, Quintrex, Yellowfin, go straight to Cavs Marine and Tully. They're awesome to deal with. So this trailer was built around the boat. As you can see, it is solid as. Bloody awesome trailer. The suspension underneath it is all independent. So it is all Peddlers, shockies and springs mounted onto his custom A-arms, I guess you'd call them. And then he's got his hubs. He's actually made me custom hubs that match the same wheel track as my Raptor. So they're a little bit wider. I do have pretty large offset tyres. The tyre and rim are exactly the same as my Ranger. So, you know, I can always swap them out if I get flats. Everything's interchangeable. Up the front here also, you got your jockey wheel holder. So when your jockey wheel's not in use, put it up here and it's well out of the way then. Don't have to worry about your jockey wheel bottoming out on rocks or gullies. That happens way too often to me for some reason. So I'm very happy that this is up here, way out of the way. On the subframe of this trailer, he's actually got two individual tanks. I think from memory, he said they're about 46 litres each tank. You know, you can put fresh water in here, you can put petrol. You can put petrol in both, diesel in both, water in both if you really want. All however you want to configure it, I guess. What I personally am thinking, I'll probably put petrol in one of them and put fresh water in the other. I might wire up a little 12-volt pressure pump just so you can wash your rods off after a day fishing in the salt. One point he did say to me is, if you didn't have a spare tyre here, that's also a very good area to keep your crab pots. I don't personally go crabbing very often, but you know, if you're right into your crabbing, that is a very handy storage area. We've obviously got our electric over hydraulic brakes. Got a brake controller in the car, they come standard. Obviously you can adjust your hydraulic brakes depending on how much weight you've got in your trailer. So that's very handy. We've got our treads. Got 2 treads here for the trailer. I've got 2 on the roof and 2 in the rear of the car. You know, if you've seen my videos, you know that I seem to get bogged all the time. I don't mean to do it, it just happens. In this little compartment here, we've got a battery, a winch isolator, and yeah, basically I'll put a lock on that. It would suck to come back to the boat ramp and have your battery stolen. That is not what you want. So at least having your battery box designed like that, chuck a padlock on it and you should be safe. This here is actually jerry can storage. So idea is have one water jerry can and one jerry can for your fuel. When you decide you want to fuel your boat up, fuel your car up or whatnot, you come to the back here. On each side, you'll see there's these rubber hoses. They come from your tank. Put a tap in, unscrew your little bung, put a tap in, open it up, fuel your jerry can up. Once it's full, fuel your boat up. Just makes it simple and easy. This arm that you can see here, once I undo this pole, it actually will sit down lower and help guide the boat off. So we'll just lift it up, undo it. That comes down, pull this pin out. That's all free now. Let's chuck this in the boat. Bungs in, all right, so that's all good now. I'll reverse back a bit. On the first test, I'll reverse in like normal. I'll go pretty deep and you'll see how easy the boat comes on and off. Then I'll do a few more tests and show you how shallow we can get it. Bit of a drop off here. Oops. So as you can see, I'm going pretty deep here. That's very deep. So we'll jump out. I'll point the camera over this way a little bit. So that's very deep. How I was talking about the pros and cons, when you're launching the boat this deep, the breathers for both of those tanks, whether they be fuel or water, are starting to get pretty close to the water level. It would really suck if you dropped off a bank or dropped off the edge of a boat ramp without realizing, and those breathers went underwater while you had 2 full tanks of fuel. So let me know what you think, but I'm half thinking about running those breather pipes up to the top of your winch post. Obviously, if your winch post is going underwater, you're doing something very wrong. But anyway, let's unload this boat. One of the cool things about this winch is you've actually got a wireless remote. You know, if you're at a boat ramp where it's very crocky or you're by yourself and just can't quite unload the boat by yourself, you can use this wireless remote. It does come in handy. Launch your boat. Obviously, when you were sewing, you'd have someone in the boat with that outboard running. Because when you do it this way, obviously now I've got to walk out to unhook that winch rope. So there's always pros and cons to everything. You feel quite safe up here, even though you're obviously not safe, but it's just a nice feeling. You know, there's plenty of area to walk around. You're not trying to balance on some little sketchy beams. That's pretty cool. I really like that. So that's a good example of the benefits of a winch, electric winch. But I don't really look after things that well, so no doubt that winch will end up seizing up or failing at some point. I'll be back to that manual winch. But let's drive this boat out and I'll show you at how shallow we can launch this boat. All right, this is going to be a pretty good test. So as you can see, water level is only just touching that rim. There's a lot of room. I've got the drone here. As you can see, you know, the outboard, everything is super far up off the ground. Let's lower this boat back and see. I just got to be careful that you don't hit the transducer, and you got to be careful that you don't stow the outboard into the dirt. Let's have a go at this. That doesn't get old. That's cool. So as you can see, it's all pivoting right on that one back what do you call it, roller at the moment. It's this hinging there. I'm just keeping an eye on this transducer. I don't want that hitting the ground. Hopefully the back of this boat should start to float soon. Yeah, there we go. The back of the boat's now floating. My transducer is missing the ground. And hopefully this drone can see, but the front of this boat, actually, the boat's pivoting around. I might get this camera. Let's get this camera so you guys get a bit better view. So you can see that flap there. That is what guides the boat up when it's low water. So the front of the boat should hit that now. Yep, perfect. And there you go, it's released. I'm going to give it a bit of a hand just to keep it straight for this wind. That wind should just lift it straight up using that back guide, I guess you'd call it. Your boat can be super shallow, and look at that, just lifts it straight on. You do want to be careful. If that winch rope was to snap, you'd lose your boat. So always have a backup rope just in case. But that's pretty impressive. That's very shallow to launch a boat of this size. Super happy with this trailer. Barra Tracker trailers from Tate's Welding up here in Tolga. You know, any questions, ask me in the comments. Yeah, hopefully we get up north, or I might actually be heading over to Northern Territory very soon. So fingers crossed, you'll see a lot more of this trailer being used, abused. But yeah, very happy with it. Cheers for watching. Hopefully this video helped you. I know when I was looking for trailers, I really struggled to see any videos online that demonstrated what off-road trailers can and can't do. So hopefully this has helped you. Cheers for watching.